Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello everybody, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have a great show for you today. It's all about Lake Tahoe and the Hyatt Regency, crime and corruption, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to be talking about it on our show right after this.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
Welcome everybody to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show, and with me as usual, Uroy Marshall, our executive producer. And Uroy, welcome back to the show.
You betcha.
It's been a while since we've been together through the summer here. It's been kind of crazy summer, but now we're ready to roll again with new shows, and we're very pleased to have our special guest with us today, Doresa Banning, and she is a local author, and she has a great story to tell about Lake Tahoe and the beginnings of the casino business up there, and some of the characters, including Jimmy Hoffa, who were involved in bringing the casino to North Lake Tahoe. And so, Doresa, welcome to our show, Old Tales of Nevada.
It's an honor to be here. I'm a major fan.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you on here for a couple of weeks. We finally did it.
We did.
So we appreciate that very much. And Doresa, before we get into your story, we always go to Uroy, because Uroy tells us why we've done this show, Old Tales of Nevada, past and present, for the past 10 years or so, 309 episodes now. So go ahead, Uroy, you can.
You betcha. Well, we do this show to make people proud of this state. And I came from a proud state of Texas.
Yes, you did.
And out here, it didn't seem to be very, people really didn't realize that if it weren't for the state of Nevada, the United States of America may not be here, because after the Civil War, the country was totally broke. And Abraham Lincoln owed between $8.5 and $9 million, which was a lot more than the country had.
That's
so
for sure.
We owed that to France, Germany, and England. And if we wouldn't have paid them, we wouldn't have the United States of America. And also this state was the developer of the dollar, ultimately, which came out of silver from up to the Comstock.
Amazing.
So Morgan's silver dollars were the beginning of a dollar that has become the leading currency throughout the world.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Now, dollars are, if you go abroad, you better take some dollars with you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They may not be worth too much.
Yeah. I think they are nowadays. Actually, a dollar is pretty strong compared to some of the other currencies, because our economy has been doing so.
Sure, hard
so
currency
good.
is very important.
Yeah. So anyway, you were right. Thanks for telling us why we do the show, and it's, like I say, 309 episodes. But you have a lot of other endeavors as well. You have the mining operation up there in the north part of Virginia City, and you have your beautiful store that's up in C Street.
Mint.
The Marshall Mint, right? And we want people to start visiting the store.
Come by and stay in the hotel, bring your sweetie, and have a romantic
That's right. The Silverland Inn is Suites.
Buy her a little goodie up at the jewelry store.
That's for sure. And it's only a block away. In fact, we'll give you a ride up there if you want.
There you go. You can't beat that.
That's right. So thank you. You're right. So Doresa, you're a local person. You've been here for how long?
20 years.
20 years, but you didn't hail from here, so where did you come from?
No, I came from Southern California and immediately before moving here was living in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego, what a beautiful spot. Huh?
Yes.
Wow. So the move up here was for education or what?
No, actually, I followed a gentleman
Oh,
up here
okay.
who had gotten a job here.
Okay.
And we're still together.
Oh, wonderful. That's
Yeah,
good news.
Yeah.
So, but you went to the University of...
I did.
Nevada?
Nevada
North,
and
yeah.
Reno,
Okay.
where I got my master's in journalism.
Oh, okay.
Great.
And since I've been here, I've worked as a freelance writer and editor for publications and businesses.
Yeah, what publication do you work for? Is it a business magazine?
Any and all. I
Any and all.
actually do write for Nevada Business, based in Henderson, and do a lot of editing for various edible magazines, the Food Magazine.
Oh, nice.
Here in Reno, Tahoe.
Get to check out some of the...
I learn a lot.
you learn a lot about food.
Cooking and food.
Recipes and
new
different
restaurants.
things.
It's
All right,
fabulous, the magazine.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So,
Great.
20 years here, I mean, I imagine you love Reno, right?
I do. I
Yeah.
really do love Reno.
Yeah,
It's
one of the
awesome.
reasons that we do the show, as you already mentioned, is for people to feel good about living here in Northern Nevada.
Yes.
And one reason we enjoy living here is the environment itself.
Yes.
Right? I mean, here we are in the fall,
Right, yeah.
and we're seeing the beautiful colors
Oh, yeah.
come out in the valley here, which
Absolutely.
is amazing. So people visit sometimes, and then they come back and live here because it's so nice.
Yes.
It's a romantic place.
It's a romantic place. That's right. Exactly. So, and the business climate is good.
Very good.
And for entrepreneurs, it's almost like a paradise because you can start businesses and do business in a very simple way here.
Yes.
It's not like being in San Diego or San Francisco where you're so regulated, right?
And I'm not sure I could do what I do in either of those places.
Probably not. Yeah. And people can operate a business nicely here because, you know, even marketing, like Jim and I are involved in marketing. I mean, I can buy TV for folks.
Yes.
So reasonably here, or radio. Media prices are you know, a third of what they are just over the hill in Sacramento. So we can put small clients on major TV stations.
Yes.
And make
Makes
them
sense.
successful. You can't do that in other places, but you can do it in
Right,
Reno.
right.
Plus we have an airport in the middle of town.
Right.
I mean, other than the noise, how convenient is that, right?
Super convenient. You know, 15 minutes to get to the airport is unheard of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have entertainment, we have gambling.
You got a lot of fresh air too, which helps when you're
Lot of
riding.
fresh air.
You got fresh air to the brain.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I
nice.
better go put the dog up.
Oh, you got to go put the watch your step getting out there.
Okay.
Okay, be careful.
Charlie.
All right, you got to put the dog out. You got to put the dog out, right?
Yes.
So, Doresa, let me get into what we want to talk about today. One of our big industries, of course, is gaming, right?
Yes.
And it had to have a start. And I guess the 50s and 60s when where we saw a big increase, right, in gaming.
In southern Nevada, mostly, the hub was actually Reno. Before
Right.
that, starting even in the 20s when it was illegal.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. So, yeah, it was northern Nevada that had gaming originally, and then
Right.
it moved into the southern part of the state. But we have some great institutions as far as gaming is concerned. We got Harrah's, and we had Harold's and Fitzgerald's. But up on the lake, we think about the north end there, and we had what, the Calneva, and there's another one up there, the Crystal Bay Club.
Casino and the Tahoe Biltmore, I think.
Yeah, the Biltmore was
Yeah,
there. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. But one of the biggest and nicest up there right now is the Hyatt, right?
Yes.
The Hyatt Regency.
Yes,
Now, it's a beautiful place, right in the Pines.
it is. It's gorgeous.
But it had quite a history, right?
It has
in
an
the beginning.
amazing history.
Amazing history, yeah. And that's what we want to explore today. And we're following the story with this book that you wrote, a true story, A Bold Gamble at Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
And it's about the crime and corruption in a casino evolution.
Yes.
So it intrigues me to know this story, and I'm sure many people who travel up the incline and go by the Hyatt Regency don't understand or realize the history that happened there.
Right.
So we're very very excited about learning this history from you. So help us get started. Originally, when you think about Incline, wasn't it basically a place where they harvested lumber and cut trees and that sort
of thing?
In
the 1800s it was actually called Incline, and it was named after some very steep slope they had to get the lumber off of, up.
Up first.
Yep,
Yeah.
And most of that was taken and used in Virginia City.
Yeah.
That was the 1800s.
Uh-huh.
And then kind of lay barren and dormant until the 1959 when Art Wood, who became a huge developer of Incline, began to develop it. He bought a bunch of land from George Whittle Jr. and began to develop it, and he had this huge vision for the area. And one of the...
Okay, excuse me.
Come on back. Go ahead, Doresa.
One of the elements that he was looking at there was like a humongous sort of entertainment, accommodations, performance, theater, all sorts of things he wanted in sort of a complex. And so they envisioned what was going to be called Tahoe Forum.
Okay.
That was going to contain all of this.
Okay. Now, where was this guy from? Was he from the big city? From San Francisco or what?
No, I believe he was from Ohio.
Ohio. Wow.
Yes, and I believe he stumbled upon the area on a vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Anyway, so he got 3 gentlemen that he knew to build a hotel, you know.
And what was the original structure? Was it like a log cabin with rooms? Or?
It was made out of all natural, like cedar and stone, similar to what it is today.
So yeah.
What was the date?
This was, well, it was built in 1963, and opened in 1964 as the Sierra Tahoe.
Okay. So Incline was basically pretty rural back in the day
It was
before
very
that.
new. I mean, there was hardly anybody living there, and they were like part-timers living there part of the year. The population was very low, and what's fascinating, one of the aspects about the hotel is that the locals didn't want it.
Oh.
And they didn't want gaming, especially.
Okay.
They thought that it would mar the beauty of the lake, et cetera, et cetera.
Was it wealthy folks that were living there back then? That's what was imported from other places?
Yes.
Okay, so they were building big homes and didn't want anything like a hotel or casino, huh?
No, they thought that, you know, it was a slippery slope. Once you had one, it would turn into this really big commercial area.
Right.
And about the Sierra Tahoe, it's sort of interesting. Part of it was built on the lake shore.
Oh.
Which is today what is the Lone Eagle Grill restaurant
it's a beautiful
and some cottages along the beach. So that was one element of it, and then the other element was across the street, the hotel, the high rise that we know.
Okay.
But interesting, the facility that's the restaurant today was what was originally a bar and a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
But it was being run illegally because it was a commercial enterprise and it was zoned for, urban residences. Anyway, that's a whole long, complicated piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because after the restaurant and bar, they put a casino in there.
Okay.
And so there was always this pressure from the county to move the casino across the street and get it off of the beach.
Off of the beach. Huh, isn't that something? Because they felt that the structure was, and the business was going to interfere with the ambiance of the beach area there.
When was the Olympics?
That was 1960.
Yeah,
which also brought a lot of notoriety.
5 years before then.
Yeah,
it did.
well, 4 years after, but that probably brought a lot of people.
Right, and people were familiar with the area because of that.
Right, exactly. Well, that's very interesting, that it would have opposition right from the get-go, because, I mean, we had gaming in Reno at that time, so expanding it out, and probably in South Lake it was already established.
It was huge. Well, they worried in Incline Village that Incline Village would become a South Lake, which
was not very well regulated.
Of.
Okay, we got a break here. We'll come back with the rest of the story on Old Tales in Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, We at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Paula. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antique Show, now at the Reno Sparks Convention Center.
We also want you to know about our everyday location at Somewhere in Time. Antique Antiques, Space 46.
You'll find items from local artists, retro, mid-century, rustic, sports, collectibles, antiques, and much more.
You'll find Nevada art, glass, Native American jewelry, and baskets, unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques at Somewhere in Time, Dealer 46.
Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once-in-a-lifetime savings and pay the sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitski Lane in Reno. It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today.
We're back here in Old Tales Nevada, past and present, and we're talking with Doresa Banning, and she is the author of a book that's coming out in December. It's a true story, A Bold Gamble at Lake Tahoe, and we talked about the developer there, whose name again was
Art Wood.
Art Wood, who saw the potential there for people to come and want to stay, and that kind of was a tradition from what we learned on other shows, that people from San Francisco would come to Lake Tahoe on weekends, to do various things, including skiing and that sort of thing. So it makes sense that, he would want to put a hotel there.
Yes.
And then the casino business came on top of that because it's already been established in South Lake. We were talking off air about Harrah's and Caesar's and Harvey's.
Gambling was huge there.
And the Sierra Tahoe, where I stayed in Elvis Presley's suite. I'll get that in there.
I think it's the largest freshwater lake in the United States.
Oh, I think it is too.
The average is 950
and it's deep. It's an old volcano.
Yeah, the average.
That's what it is.
There's some that's down to 1,200 feet there almost.
Probably so. Yeah. So tell me this, Doresa. So the initiation of the hotel, was it successful as a hotel?
Yes and no. The three proprietors had no experience running a hotel.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of in a little bit over their head, mostly because they couldn't get financing to repay one of the partners who had kind of paid for the construction.
Oh, okay.
So they were looking for money for that and also for the next phase, which was going to be adding more rooms and adding, the more.
Did they have a vision
casino.
About a casino?
They did. That was part of Art Wood's plan originally.
Or get the casino in there one step at a time.
Yes.
So that's funny. They couldn't get financing back in those days because they certainly had the banks here locally that had casino business associated with the banks. So what was holding them back? Just their credit worthiness, or?
No, I think it was a couple of things. One is that there's so much risk in backing a casino back then.
Really?
Because there was always the threat that the state government or the federal government might outlaw gaming, and then you're kind of stuck with this loan that you made.
Okay.
Another was that a lot of the banks may have wanted ownership.
Oh.
And, the gamblers wouldn't really want that to be the case.
No,
Can't do that.
think
No,
so. They want that
those
information passed around.
Yeah, and the fact that it was kind of, in the sticks, as one of the owners called it, was another factor.
Yeah. Did they have the road going over the top from Reno to Mount Rose down to
The Mount Rose Highway?
Yeah, was
Yes,
that there? That was
yes,
already established, huh? Okay, and it was paved and all that kind of thing, so it wasn't that difficult to get over there. So, not having availability of financing, they had to get creative, right? So what did they do?
Well, one of the owners, the one who actually paid for the construction, and his company actually constructed it, and his company was the Pacific Bridge Company, which had built the Golden Gate and Bay Bridges in San Francisco.
Wow.
So they had, construction and development experience. Anyway, he spent like a couple of years trying to get financing, and somehow the Teamsters Pension Fund, headed by Jimmy Hoffa, who was one of the trustees of it, got wind of the casino. And this man sort of mysteriously showed up one day saying, "I'm a broker and I can get you a loan." And so the partners were like, "Oh, okay, this sounds fabulous." Long story short, they go to Chicago to sign the deal, and it kind of goes to pot in that there was inside the documents, there was a document saying that the partners would have to pay the loan broker this like $200,000 fee to his company without any records of what the company did or any financial accounting records or anything. So it would kind of be an under the table sort of loan, they called it. And so the partners decided no thanks. And they told the broker, "We don't want the Teamsters loan." Now, interestingly, the partners didn't know at the time that Jimmy Hoffa the year earlier had been convicted, hadn't started his sentence yet, but had been convicted of loan fraud in relation to loans that they had been approving through the Teamsters Pension Fund.
Okay.
So, they didn't know about all the shadiness that was involved, but they just felt that it was wrong, that they would have had to make this under the table loan. So they said no. Then,
not a good thing to say to Jimmy Hoffa.
No, in fact, at that point, and it was just one of the partners that was there in Chicago with his attorney, the broker kind of made a gesturing of the slashing of the neck, saying, "You are so done, and you're never going to ever work with the Teamsters again," like threatening them. So they were a little shaken up.
I guess.
Yes. And then it gets even more incredulous because not long after that, two guys, the partners get a phone call from a real estate agent saying, "I have two guys who happen to be driving by, the property who want to buy it now." Long story short, they lied about where they had gotten their financing, and it turns out that they were there to buy the property with that loan that the original partners had turned down. It was now being given to them. Wow. And they were shady characters from Los Angeles.
Mafia, right?
And so that kind of began this parade of bad ownership. The poor original owners who were legitimate businessmen and wanted to run it cleanly. They were.
Did they have to sell? Did they have to sell it out?
They opted to sell it.
They opted to sell it. They just get their hands out of there because they probably realized that there was going to be interference because of Jimmy Hoffa.
I think so. And since they didn't have the experience, running a hotel, never mind a casino, which takes a certain, knowledge and experience, they did sell. But I feel like they were sort of forced to.
For sure.
If
the Teamsters in those days wanted so was the mafia already pretty involved with gaming in the 50s and 60s in Lake Tahoe? They had their hands in there?
Scant. Here and there in Lake Tahoe. Of course, at the Calneva they were, but was yes, they were. That was partly, some sort of mobsters in Reno, plus Sam Giancana. So there were places, but it wasn't as rampant, I don't think, I may be wrong, as in Vegas.
Vegas, they really got involved down there.
And I think it had to do something with the size. I mean, I read somewhere that Meyer Lansky, who, had his nose out for like hubs of gambling, the Bahamas, Cuba, etc., said that Reno was just too small.
Probably, yeah.
So if Reno was too small, Incline Village was hugely small. And it was small. I mean, it was just a developing community.
Sure.
And the first casino was very small. So someone would have had to come in and capitalize it and move it across the street, don't forget.
So the original structure did not have the casino in it on the beach, right?
Right.
So they had to then go for permits. How much hassle did they have even trying to get that done, you know?
Actually not that much.
Really?
They got a special use permit to allow the casino in there.
All right.
I don't know how, but they did.
Who did they buy the land from?
The land was owned by the three original partners.
And who did they buy it from originally? Was it a big ranch down there or something?
Get this. Well, it originally belonged to George Whitell Jr.
The lumber guy.
And then Art Wood and some investors bought it. And then the Crystal Bay Development Company bought it from this group of investors, and Wood was the head of that.
All right.
And then he gave the land to the three partners.
Oh, nice.
If they promised to put up a hotel within a year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's a great deal.
Right.
That doesn't happen very often, right?
No, but that was kind of how he operated. He had done that for the first gas station at Incline Village as well.
He gave him the land.
Yes.
Oh, did he do that for the college as well? You know, the college is up there, and I don't know when that started.
I'm not sure either.
We had a couple of shows on that, and there was some land given to the college.
Yeah.
Remember, I think we heard that during the show. So anyway, that is very intriguing. So when they started operating the casino, were the Teamsters still involved in skimming money out of there, or how did that work?
We don't know for sure that money was skimmed out of there at this point for the Teamsters. However, that was kind of how Hoffa operated. You know, he was getting a kickback, under the table for approving the loan. So there were sums of money that the owners were withdrawing from the corporate account unexplained, and basically they just got it into serious financial distress.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Okay.
At which point, I think Hoffa sent in another person to sort of save it.
Oh, okay.
And that didn't work out so well.
It didn't? No?
No. It was kind of more of the same, and it was in financial distress again. This was a recurring theme, which does suggest...
And it was therefore a change of name every time that a new owner came in? Did they give it a different...
Not every time, but there was an owner, Calvin Covens came in, and he bought it without the approval of the gaming authorities. And when they found out, they were very upset because they had already known about him. He had been convicted with Hoffa the year earlier for loan fraud, and he was from Florida. It's very complicated, but fascinating.
Wow.
Anyway, he was owning it, and another, his actual...
Oh.
There we go.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle with a biker's bike shop.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
We're back here for our third segment of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present, and we had to break our other segment down a little bit early because our lights fell down and went off.
That can happen.
It can happen. It's TV. So anyway, we're back here, and I want to introduce everybody again. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. Roy Marshall, our executive director, and Doresa Banning, the author of this very exciting and intriguing book, A Bold Gamble at Lake Tahoe. And it describes the crime and corruption in a casino's evolution. And our last two segments really got into that nicely. And we were talking about, the original owners and Jimmy Hoffa's involvement, the loans that were given to people so that they come in and buy the property. And that happened over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I think as we were ending our last segment, because of the light problem, you were about to tell us that there were a number of name changes as well as ownership changes, right? What are some of the names of the casino as it has its evolution?
The property started as the Sierra Tahoe, and then at another point it became the Lake Tahoe Hotel and Incline Village Casino.
Okay.
And then it became King's Castle.
King's Castle.
And that was a major change because the owner, Nate Jacobson, he remodeled it inside and out to resemble like a 16th century castle.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it doesn't resemble a structure we see today at all?
No.
Okay.
No. And the locals were really upset. They found it gaudy and a monstrosity. Yeah. But it attracted people.
Amazing. Yeah. So we were talking also off air about the development as a whole.
Yes.
That it not only included the hotel and the casino eventually, but then in the master plan, the ski resort that's up there had to be developed, right?
Right. That was Ski Incline.
To begin with, and now it's known as Diamond Peak, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that all had to be.
It was going on kind of at the same time.
All at the same time. And then the championship golf course also had to be included. And they held them to that master plan, right? The county did?
They did. But Art Wood was really willing to just continue with the development.
Yeah. And that's, Roy, we hear that a lot with our shows, right? With entrepreneurs, especially in Nevada. They never say never.
Right.
They just overcome one obstacle after another, and they get successful.
Yes.
And eventually give back because they're so successful to the Northern Nevada area, which we really appreciate. Yeah,
it's a community oriented.
Community-oriented.
And Lake Tahoe also.
Absolutely. So they get this castle.
The King's
and
Castle.
How long did he operate the hotel casino?
Well, he remodeled it, and then he held a grand opening in 1970.
All right.
And in 1973, it fell into financial distress.
Was that again because of the Teamsters taking money off the side there?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's hard to really say. One of Jacobson's partners told me that he had been welcoming junkets, for people that didn't have good credit. And so it was this and a lot of mobsters. And so there was kind of this revolving door of people coming in, and they were having losses on this.
And they couldn't get it.
But I can't imagine that much debt coming from that. Nate Jacobson was very money oriented, and I can't imagine him,
losing that kind of money.
Right, being okay with that. yet, so I'm not sure where it
now,
all
where
went.
was the Gaming Commission during all of this shenanigans that were going on up there? Did they have any audits? Were they have any power in those days, or were they just kind of a figurehead?
They did have power in those days, and through these various transitions, they laid down the law as much as they could. And interestingly, they actually found one time when they went to the Incline Village Casino, which then was actually owned by Art Wood.
Oh, okay.
He actually got into the property.
Yeah.
They caught a stickman cheating at craps with misbought dice.
Oh.
And they closed the casino.
They did.
Yes.
So they do have some power. Yeah.
Yes, and that was like a huge blow.
Now, when you think about that gaming board, did the mob have people on the board?
I don't think so.
In the beginning? You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think so.
So it just seems odd that they would let these casinos continue to lose money and then,
Well, they first of all, King's Castle was contributing hugely to the county coffers.
Oh, okay.
And so they wanted to do what they could to sort of help it along. With Art Wood, they saw that he had done so much for the community. They wanted to give him a chance.
Sure.
That special use permit that allowed the casino on the lake, they had just kept, we'll give you another year. We'll give you another year.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of thing. And eventually the casino was moved across the street by Nate Jacobson. But they were trying to compromise.
just make it happen. So, which is also a good thing
Right, but
about
they
Nevada
also
in a lot
wanted
of ways.
to protect the industry at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So after the King's Castle fiasco,
Yes.
even though they were doing a lot of business, they finally went bankrupt as well. Who did he sell out to?
He sold to a guy named Judd McIntosh, who was a businessman from Georgia, and he had got a taste of gaming by investing in Caesar's Palace in Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas.
And I should also say that Jacobson was heavily involved with Caesar's Palace in Vegas too, which is probably how he kind of learned about the hotel
Incline.
up here. Yeah,
Sure.
Incline. Anyway, Judd McIntosh took it over, and I believe that the mob, most likely the Chicago outfit, was using him as a front. But he wasn't aware of it.
He wasn't aware of it. How could you not be aware of it? What year are we talking about here now?
This is 74 now.
74, okay.
And so he, because he was very shocked when it was just gushing money, he didn't know where it was going. Yeah.
He was losing. It was somebody was his accountant or somebody had to be in cahoots with the mob, right?
Well, I'm not sure he was running such a tight ship. He was letting other people run everything.
Okay. He was in Georgia and other people were running it for him.
I think so. I think so. And so we know there was one guy in particular who showed up and was unofficially sort of running the casino.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have a gambling license, and we're pretty sure that he was helping skim for Chicago outfit, possibly the Cleveland Syndicate, maybe others. There always tended to be multiple hidden owners who were getting points or some sort of part of the skim. Hard to verify though.
Yeah.
But
so the Gaming Commission couldn't figure out what was going on? I mean, it seems to me they would get receipts of what the revenues were, and
I don't think it was that tightly controlled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
so that was an evolution as well.
I think it was in the evolving
yes.
situation at that time.
They realized what was happening and evolved.
Mr. Hare helped a lot, I know.
Did he?
He got involved and tried to help.
And he was an honest operator.
I think so,
hopefully.
yeah.
Well, and you have to remember too that King's Castle, it didn't have video cameras.
Oh.
It just had like a catwalk where you could oversee the casino.
That's true.
And so, this...
You could cheat, easy to cheat.
Exactly,
easy to
cheat, yeah.
So after this fella,
Nate Jacobson.
Okay, after him came this guy that was the Chicago.
Judd McIntosh,
okay.
right.
So when I guess the question is, when did it start to get cleaned up?
Right. Well, that's actually the end of the book. So the book really only tells the story from the genesis through the point where it becomes stable, and that was in 1975. So right before that, when Judd McIntosh realized that it was hemorrhaging money, he shut it all down.
Oh, he shut it down?
He shut it down and he got out.
Wow.
And so it stayed empty, and the Teamsters kept a watch on it. And then in '75, they sold to the Hyatt Corp.
Oh, okay. What was the structure like before the Hyatt? Did
it
they
was still this castle
looking
inside and out. Well, it depends on what your taste
eye
is.
Of the beholder.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But the first thing that the Hyatt did when they came in was revert it back to blend in with the natural environment, kind of how it looks today.
Yeah,
pretty
it
much.
is kind of interesting because when you go down into incline, it's hard to identify the building. I mean, just from the main highway.
Right. It does not look like your typical, neon flashing.
In fact,
or,
they probably
hotel
are
casino.
regulated against doing stuff like that.
That's possible. That's very possible.
Yeah, that you can't put those kind of lights out there. And
right.
It has to be more rustic.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. So, did they have a casino when they opened it, the Hyatt?
Oh, yes.
Oh, they opened it as a casino because they've had operations similar to that in other places, or what?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yes, they owned a casino in Vegas at the time. I'm blanking on the name. And they had done deals with Teamsters before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So.
right. Well, how did they stay free from the corruption?
I don't know.
They had better accountants, probably.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Maybe Hoffa. It was so far past the point of the original loan that they didn't have to give him kickbacks anymore. Oh, actually, no. Hoffa was in prison, so maybe that was how it was able to stay
so that
free.
whole structure with Teamsters changed too.
It did
Him not being a trustee.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand the guy who took his place kind of did the same, but I'm not really sure the answer to that question.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
When did Hoffa meet his demise? What year? Do you recall?
Ooh, I don't.
You don't, huh? Yeah. So anyway, he could be buried up there somewhere.
He could. One never knows.
Did he make personal visits up there to the casino?
He might have.
Yeah.
He actually was. I believe he was there for the grand opening of
he
King's
was?
Castle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he have a home up there and stuff too?
I don't
Did
know.
he live there at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but I
don't think
imagine there are a lot of gangster types who had homes on Incline.
Yes.
Or in the Tahoe area
Yes.
anyway, right?
Yes, you're right about that.
Yeah, like Giancana. Is that,
Yes.
am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep.
Because he was heavily involved in the Cal Neva. Sinatra was up there, right?
And
So-
some of them just liked it because of its beautiful place
Well, it's
as a
gorgeous.
beautiful place to live. So
That's for
right.
sure.
And they didn't actually have any involvement. With
Yeah,
the
right.
casinos.
They just wanted to be up there because it was so purred
Right, and-
up there.
Exactly.
That's what's neat about living in Reno, too. You can be over there in 12 miles. All right, well, let's take a break, and we'll come back for our last segment, and you can tell us about some of the other stuff that happened up there, maybe with the Hyatt that we don't know about. And we'll get that all for you right after this break on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno. Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once-in-a-lifetime savings and pay the sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today.
Okay, we're back here for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We're talking about Incline Village and the development of the casino and the hotel there, now called the Hyatt Regency. And that's what we were talking about as we left the segment there. And you had a neat little story that when the Hyatt company went in there, they did remodel, but they took down some really famous artifacts, right?
They did.
That was there with the old castle.
Yes.
The King's Castle. What's that story?
Well, one of them was Nate Jacobson had a naked Lady Godiva sitting on a horse, flanked by some sentries at the entrance.
Okay.
And so they got rid of that.
Yeah.
And there's some like huge plastic lions at the entrance, of the property.
It's pretty gaudy, in other words, right?
Well, that's what people thought, but it did attract people.
Yeah.
People wanted to see what it looked like, and it was so unusual.
I can imagine inside it probably had the bright orange and red carpets, right?
Yes, it did.
A lot of neon inside.
A lot of sort of like royal-themed artifacts, coats of arms and, sconces and...
Okay, very medieval look to that whole thing.
Yes,
Isn't that amazing?
yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Well, wasn't there a King's, what was that King's Castle?
They built one in Vegas.
They built one in Vegas,
but
they had that, what was that big hotel that was in Reno sitting derelict for a number of years?
King's Inn.
King's Inn, yeah. Not near the same scope as what you're describing.
No, this was pretty tricked out, as they say, in the royal theme. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful, yeah. So the Hyatt bought it and put in, I don't know how many stories that thing is. It's got to be,
I don't know,
15 stories or so. Nicely done, though. They haven't really done anything. I got here in '86, and I've been up there a number of times. I don't see them doing any additions.
They've remodeled.
Have they?
And they turned the cottages into, they're just amazing and gorgeous now. And they have that restaurant in the lakefront building.
It's a nice facility.
Eagle's Nest.
It's a nice facility. It's like,
Beautiful.
floor to ceiling windows for the view of the lake.
Very pricey.
Yes, right. I've only been there once. Yeah.
And well, your daughter's going to get married up there, right? You're right in next May, August next year. May next year. Yeah. Well, that'd be a big party, huh?
Yeah.
And I guess they do a lot of that kind of thing up there.
Cheaper than renting Squaw Valley.
So, Doresa, besides writing the book, again, A Bold Gamble at the Lake Tahoe, you do a lot of online stuff, right? You have a blog.
I do.
Okay.
I have a blog. It's called It Really Happened, and it tells gambling stories from the past.
Oh, right.
Not just Nevada, but around the world, but mostly Nevada.
Mostly Nevada.
Yeah.
So besides the Incline story and the Hyatt Regency evolution there, any other story sticks out in your mind as notable? With the crime and corruption that they had, was there anything in Reno that was a big news story about that sort of thing?
Oh gosh, well,
lots of them, I suppose.
Well, yeah, and they're all sort of well known. You know,
Uh-huh.
the ones in Reno. There is another one at Lake Tahoe. It was more towards the Kings Beach area, so a little bit further south, but not at South Lake Tahoe.
Right.
It was a small casino called Tahoe Village, I believe.
Right.
Was one of its names. It had a couple of names.
Yeah.
And there was a murder that took place there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So that's kind of my next book, and it was very mobbed
And
up.
it was a gangster style hit or what?
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was a mob hit for sure.
Mob hit for sure. And who was the person that they were after then? Was it another mob figure?
He was one of the owners, and
He wasn't playing.
It's been so long since I looked at the story. I'm not sure if he was also a mobster.
Okay, so he wasn't playing the game they wanted to play, and
right?
So they just took him out. Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Well, isn't it something? We have the history. We have good history, and we have the very kind of history you're talking about with mob involvement and everything. But I guess wherever you have money involved,
yes,
and it's easy money in a lot of ways, you're going to have to fight the mob, even today, right?
Yeah, but the mob, they knew what they had in Nevada with the gambling.
Yeah.
And so they kind of had a pact amongst themselves that they wouldn't kill people in Nevada.
Right.
Because, this was like the worst nightmare of the gaming authorities.
Yeah,
And so that was a big deal at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal.
So they brought probably a lot more regulation, cameras, all
yes,
the things necessary.
And of course they didn't want that either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to be seen.
Right.
But that probably hastened that kind of development,
Absolutely.
I suppose. Yeah.
And the federal government was always watching, always watching Nevada. And, there was that constant fear that the federal government would outlaw gaming and then it would be gone in Nevada. So everyone was trying to walk the straight line.
Regulate it, yeah. So as gaming, has spread out, I don't know if you follow it or not, but we see it in a lot of different states.
It's in almost every state now.
Indian casinos.
Yes.
Online. Is there crime and corruption involved there, or is it so regulated now and done so well that they can't do it?
Everybody thinks that there's the mob is no longer in gambling, but I'm not so sure. I believe that.
Yeah. So that's your passion. That's what you write about on your blog all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. So any other books in the works? How long did it take you to write this one?
I don't even want to say it. It's so embarrassing. Like 10 years I've been working on that.
Really?
Kind of when I could get to it.
Wow.
But I found the story so fascinating that I had to do it.
Well, it sounds fascinating. Us just talking about it today. Amazing. Yeah. So where did you get all the facts and because you say it's a true story, so you're not embellishing it.
No, not at
right?
all. Not
you're
at all.
You're writing it as you found it.
Right.
Was a lot of this stuff written down, or was it available in police records, or testimony?
Kind of all of the above. I interviewed two of the original owners.
Oh, you did.
And they're waiting patiently for the book. And FBI records, gambling records, newspaper accounts, pretty much whatever I could get my hands on to put it together.
Yeah, sure. Now, I bet you, since King's Castle was this great success in a lot of ways, I would imagine that they had not only gaming, but they also had a lot of celebrities up there too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. They had.
And I imagine there's some good stories about that.
Yes.
In the book too.
Yes.
Who were some of the celebrities that you mentioned in the book?
Gosh, I mean, you name it, they were there.
They were there. So they had a big stage and
big
showroom.
Name comedians, singers. B.B. King, Pearl Bailey. Shecky Green, Buddy Hackett, he was a major headliner, of course. Lots of...
Johnny Carson, probably.
Probably
there, huh?
And they put on special shows.
Oh, yeah.
They had kind of a review that they did, and some other shows. But yeah, I mean, Nate Jacobson specifically, he tried to get up-and-comers and the big-name entertainers, and he was very successful in doing so.
Very successful with it, yeah. Now, is the Hyatt... I don't know. I don't hear about entertainment up at the Hyatt, but imagine
I don't know. I've never seen a show there.
I don't think they have a lot of.
They
don't have a showroom there. No.
I don't think so. I think he's
really?
right. Yeah.
It seems like that would be a great thing.
Well, the Hyatts were a very straight couple.
Were they? Yeah,
Oh,
you said you knew them.
Yeah, I met them several times at functions, yeah.
Really? Yeah. That's amazing, huh?
They,
Where did they hail from originally?
They, were interested in the design.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
And really, they put that design on all their hotels.
Oh,
if
they did?
could.
Yeah.
They would go from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, yeah.
With a skylight, and then you could come out of your room and then look down.
Look down, yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful too.
Yeah.
That'd be gorgeous.
The gaming today is not run by Hyatt. And I don't know if that's always been the case, but it's run by an outside
it is.
gambling firm.
Yeah, I heard more and more it's going that way. Well, even the indie casinos will hire outside contractors to run their gaming.
Yeah, which is really smart because
avoid mistakes.
It's a special industry.
It really is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what's your next point of interest for you?
Well, I'm actually working on a much shorter story. It's a true crime story about a crime that took place in Hurstdale, which is near Truckee.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Hurstdale.
Yeah, right. In the middle of nowhere, essentially. And this was back in the 40s. This was like 1947.
Wow, what could possibly happen in Hurstdale, right?
Yes. Nefarious things. Anyway, so I'm working on that, and then
that's what's so great about doing the show. You find out about places like Incline, but we also find out about Boca Dam and the ice industry and all that kind of thing, and how much money was made in these different places. Tahoe in the lumber business, the flume that used to come down. I mean, it's like we're full of history every place you look.
It's never ending.
Yeah. And every time I learn about something, now next time I go to Incline, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to drive by the hotel, I'm going to think about Jimmy Hoffer and the King's Castle, and you just can't not think about those things once you learn it. So it's very good. So we want to thank you so much for
thank you so much
taking
for
time out of
me.
your day.
And the book is coming out. It's not out yet. It's coming out on December 6th this year.
Oh, super. Yeah. Okay, and what's the price on this little?
$14.95, and you can find me or the book on gambling-history.com.
Okay, and is it on Amazon?
It will be.
It will be on Amazon.
And sold on my website.
Oh, okay, and your website, you already?
Gambling-history.com.
Okay, good, we'll have that up on screen too for you. Yeah, so how much time do I have? Oh, we only have 30 seconds. Well, thank you for coming and telling the story. And you're right, thank you for bringing the show to the folks here in Northern Nevada.
Absolutely.
Most of all, we'd like to thank our audience because they are very loyal and stay with us all the time. So we want to thank them and invite them back next week to another episode of Old Tales Nevada, Past and Present. And for Doresa and for you, Roy, and for me, John O'Brien, we want to wish you a happy Nevada Day today and enjoy it. And we'll see you next week on Old Tales in Nevada, Past and Present.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Paula. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antique Show, now at the Reno Sparks Convention Center.
We also want you to know about our everyday location at Somewhere in Time, Antique Antiques, Space 46.
You'll find items from local artists, retro, mid-century, rustic, sports, collectibles, antiques, and much more.
You'll find Nevada art, glass, Native American jewelry, and baskets, unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques at Somewhere in Time, Dealer 46.
Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once-in-a-lifetime savings and pay the sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno. Somewhere in Time is a place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno.
Under blue Nevada sky, the hot sun in his eye, Hugh Roy walked the elk and wild horse trail. Studied earth and sand, the shovel in his hand, struck bonanza, gold and silver, platinum ore. Was an old miner's code for good luck to name the strike, so we called it the Marshall Load. Golden Trail, Silver Rose, Platinum Vein, the Marshall Load.